Okay. So the first question is going to be, what are some tips for hiring a summer worker? So,
Mhm.
2 seconds. You ready? We'll do it like 100 times. Don't worry. Let's
Oh,
just see where this goes. Okay.
okay, sounds good.
Okay. Hi, Lori. Do you have any tips for our clients for hiring summer workers?
Yep, absolutely. For us internally, when we're hiring virtual assistants, we always try and match personality. Personality is key whenever you're hiring a new person. We typically like to hire Canadian and American expats that are living in low cost areas of the world. So not only us, but also our clients can also have access to finding top notch talent around the world. This enables us to not only find employment while living abroad for our staff, but also we can pass those savings on to our clients.
Great. Thank you. I actually love that. That was perfect.
Awesome.
a
I think I need some self tanner though. Good lord, I look white. Oh yeah, babe.
little bronzer.
I should. Psh, one of those fake tanner things. Yeah. So do you just do one question at a time now instead of doing the big reel? So in case you like bugger up or have a booger or something, you just fix it.
Yeah, totally.
Perfect.
Do you want to do it
Excellent.
again? Do you want to try one more time, or do you like it? How
Sure,
it
if
was
you
good.
want. Yeah, and then you can just pick whichever one
Sure.
works best for you.
Okay, we'll try one more
Mhm.
time because sometimes if you say something different, then we can always use it for a different video or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Hi, Lori. Can you give us some
Hi.
tips on hiring a summer worker?
Absolutely. For us, when we hire virtual assistants, we look for candidates that both, of course, match personality wise as well as professional experience. This helps in not only for us to be able to match our clients' requirements, but also to be able to match our specific needs.
Okay.
For us, we hire Canadian and American expats that have actually chose to live internationally for a variety of reasons. When we're able to do this, we can, of course, have our Canadian American counterparts find work locally, but this also enables us to pass the savings on to our clients.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. I think I like the first one
Me
better,
too.
but
Me
yeah.
too. Okay. Okay, let's try question 2. How does Tersa Group's hiring process work? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
Lori, how would you describe Tersa Group's hiring process?
Well, first, what we like to do is do a one-on-one meeting with our client to evaluate their needs to find out what exactly they require. Some require full-time or part-time. They may only be looking for a long-term or a short-term contract. So, of course, once we evaluate their needs, we can, of course, complete a quote based on that. Then typically it's about a 2 to a 14-day turnaround by the time we match somebody based on their requirements.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's so easy for you. Like, flying through.
Did you hear about that lady that I talked to the other day
No?
on Canada Day? Oh my God. So she just went to the Tersa site and Sal was like, oh, sure, yeah, we hire remote people. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. So I looked at her website. They do 3 billion annually in sales.
That's
They're
it?
in South Carolina. And so I called her and she manages the CSR, like the customer service
Okay.
department in the company. And she's like, I really want to hire virtual people. She's like, I want to do a test pilot. She's like, so we're going to a new phone server. She's like, it probably won't be until like November, December, January. She's like, and I've done 3 proposals. She's like, she has 2 more presentations to make, like on each level of management to get the approval for this.
Okay.
And so and I was like, okay, well, what are you going to be using? She's like, well, we're going to be using a soft phone. I was like, okay, perfect. And so she's like, I actually kind of want to find out how you do it. And I said, well, we manage everybody virtually. I said, I've worked in offices, but I've managed everybody just from my house, right?
Okay.
She's like, oh my gosh, like you're the perfect candidate. She's like, how do you do it? What do you use? Like she was just picking my brain, like just absorbing everything. And I said, well, how many people are you planning on hiring? She's like, 15.
Oh my god, that's so
I was
awesome.
like, oh my God. So I sent this email to John. John's like, oh my God. He's like, that email made my day. So, I mean, I think we have to bid it. Like, I've got to do a proposal. I
Yeah,
want John to do a deal. And she's like, well, do you think we could interview one of your like existing workers? And I said, well, yeah, absolutely. Like, that would be fine. And I said, if you want, I said, we can do a conference call with John. We can do a video, interview. Because she's like, how do you manage them? Do you talk to everybody? Do you use webcams? Like, she just went through everything, right? Like, I was practically being interviewed for this. And so I just told her, I said, well, if you want, I said, we can do project management. I said, this is your first one. So I said, this is a big deal for you, right? And I said, if you want help with this, I can help manage the team and make sure that everything is going properly, right? But John's like, even if we got 5, I'm like, I know, like, that's just crazy that we could get that many.
Cool.
Yeah, so she's like, I've been doing some research. She's like, she's like, you just seem like the perfect candidate. And she's like, well, what are the benefits of hiring virtual workers versus having in-office staff? And I said, and I just used perfect examples. I said, well, when you're dealing with 30 people in an office, I said, somebody's going to have too strong a cologne. Somebody's too flirty. One person is dressing inappropriately. Somebody's stealing somebody's lunches. I said, you don't have that.
Stealing somebody's lunches. That's
it's true. It's true. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, that happens in our office. She's like, it totally happens. And I said, those are real life examples. I said, you do have different issues that you have to address on a regular basis when you have virtual staff, but it's minding your P's and Q's in the online chat, everybody being polite and professional, using, more than one channel of communication when you're, dealing with it and speaking with the staff. And I said, you have all of that less. I said, you don't have to deal with wardrobe. You don't have to deal with any of those types of in-office environments. And I said, people are typically 25 to 30% more productive, and they end up working longer hours just by default because they don't have the 15 to 90-minute commute each way to work, right? And she's like, I'm working from home today, and it's fabulous. I love it. And she's like, we totally have to, get this going. And so, yeah, we'll see. But I hope that that's something that will, end up turning into something, right? Because that would be huge. Can you imagine even 5 people?
Huge.
Yeah, like just crazy. So I told her, I said, well, I don't hire just anybody. I said, they have to cut the mustard. Like, that's it. Like, I said, I want to make sure that we've got long-term people. So I said, if you're planning for a September 1st approval date, I said, then right then and there, I have to start looking for people for you. So she's planning on maybe starting in like November-ish, and they have a month-long training session. So that would be like all hands on deck to try and find and qualify these people for her. But yeah, it was just a crazy call. She was so nice, and she was just wonderful. So I'm hoping that we can actually find people for her. And they approved the quote. I still have the quote up, right? So, yeah.
So exciting, Lori. You'll get it.
I know. Super exciting. So then the next one is...
where and how does Tersa Group find their virtual assistant?
Yes.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Weird today. There we go. Okay, ready.
Hi, Lori. Where and how does Tersa Group find their virtual assistants?
We've actually learned a couple of different tricks and things over the years for looking for staff. We typically place ads in a variety of different companies
Okay.
Redo. Okay.
Lori, how and where does Tersa Group typically find their virtual assistants?
Well, we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now, hiring people internationally. So we've learned a couple of tricks of the trade. We do typically go to a variety of different websites, as well as posting positions on our own. And quite often, people that are already working for us, they have a local expat community in each of the cities that they live in. So if they have met somebody along the way, whether they could be an engineer or an office administrator or an accountant, or even somebody who specializes in marketing, quite often they end up as well are looking for work. So we, of course, get quite a bit of referrals as well.
Perfect. Great. Thank you.
Cut. Hi, baby. So you got to be I'm recording videos.
All right. Just one more to go.
One more to go.
All right. So the last question then will be, what are some benefits of hiring a virtual assistant compared to an in-house employee?
Perfect. And this I could talk about forever.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Should I bring up the whole thing that I just talked about politics and okay, maybe we'll do a couple different takes of that one. We can maybe this one will make a little bit. Should we do this and then talk about the office politics one and do 2 separate ones?
Sure, why don't we add a
We'll
question?
combine it in one.
Like number 5 being like how is working virtually different than working
Good idea.
in an office for your employees? Okay, and then you can just talk about exactly what we just said, so.
Okay, so how do I type that down?
I swear my biggest pet peeve is when people email me back directly and don't like reply all.
I know. Well, and like Daniel said, he's like, well, in corporate environments, they're trained not to. So you reduce email. And I'm like, yeah, but then if you've got an email, CC somebody on some branch of some tree because they didn't reply back to something that, they would have had knowledge of in the beginning if you just replied to all like that, it wastes more time, right?
Well, this lady replied to the residential newsletter. And all she said was, would like to set up an appointment for service on 2 computers, and left her email address. So I called her because she's obviously used us. And then I emailed her saying I couldn't reach her and to give us a call back. And she just replies back and she's like, hi, we will be logged on to 1 computer only. Okay. All right. So when do you want an appointment? This is going to take us two weeks to get you set up on an appointment. Just call us.
Oh, I know.
All right, well, I'll set you up with an appointment through email, but how are we going to reach you then for the appointment? How is the technician going to call you?
Yeah. Do that. Okay. Okay, so I'm working. Oh, this keyboard.
Are you on your laptop right now?
Yeah, but I'm on a separate keyboard just so I can actually type, and my webcam is up high, so I haven't used this keyboard for a while.
Yeah.
Uh,
I had a wireless keyboard, but the batteries kept dying, so I was just getting really frustrated. And Francisco gave me a corded keyboard, so I didn't have to keep changing the batteries.
Oh yeah, I've had one mouse. This mouse, I don't know if you can see it. It's like a zebra mouse. I got it at Princess Auto 5 years ago. No problems.
Yep.
But I spent $50, $75 on a wireless mouse, and they just die, right?
Yeah, it was starting to bug me because I was like, I must have changed the batteries every almost once a month, and then I was like, this is dumb. I'm spending $15 on a pack of batteries for no reason, and a keyboard's $20.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand if you have a desktop why you would need a wireless keyboard or mouse. I don't get it, but whatever. But now I've got a keyboard that's Spanish, so half my buttons are mixed up. So I'm
oh no.
I don't know which my brackets buttons are not where the brackets say they are. They're different buttons, and for the longest time I was I don't even know how to do a question mark.
I know.
I'm oh, whatever.
Oh, it's horrible. Hi. I need an air conditioner in that office. Yeah. I'm dying. Go in there. Sit at my desk. I dare you. Seriously, I couldn't even work in there. I had to do the video, but. Thank you. Oh, okay. Okay. Bye. Okay, there are rather differences in working in a virtual environment. How is working virtually different?
Why don't you just say that one? Why don't you just, instead of typing it out, just wing it exactly the way you said it, just say, even start it as something I recently spoke to somebody who's looking to hire virtual assistants, and the best way I could explain the benefits of working from home versus working from an office were as simple as, office politics. Someone works in an office, they wear too much cologne, someone's lunch gets stolen, someone's too flirty. When you work from home, you don't have any of those problems. You have other problems such as, people.
I'm just wondering if that is where it says how is working virtually different. It's just another benefit, right? So it's, yeah, we'll still use it as number 5. But yeah, I'll definitely say it that way. Yeah. Here, it's like going fuzzy in the humidity. No, it's horrible.
I hear you.
There we go.
You got one just above your ear. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, now I have a cat. You stay over there.
All right, you want to do number 4?
Yes, please.
Okay. Lori, in your opinion, what are some benefits of hiring a virtual assistant compared to an in-house employee?
Well, I think one of the first and foremost important things is cost. Cost is always on the mind for any business owner. When you hire a virtual administrator, you reduce your overhead by on average 25 to 40%. Whether a person lives down the street or across the world, paying less for office equipment, supplies, lease space, and other overhead is a huge value. By utilizing contractual employment like Tersa Group, you can, of course, further increase your savings by not having to pay government taxes, benefits, that type of thing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, perfect.
And am I like looking, I'm trying to look towards the camera, but also kind of look at my notes.
You look fine.
Is the visual okay?
Yeah,
okay.
You look good.
Okay.
Do you want to do that one again, or do you want to leave it as is?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think it sounded really good.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll leave it. We can always do more recordings later, too.
Okay. Let's try number 5.
Okay.
Let's see what comes out. How's working virtually different than work? Okay. Lori, how would you describe working virtually compared to working in an office for your employees?
Oh, sorry, my cat's chewing on the cord. Ah, hold on. You go down. This is Persia.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. Okay, you go
White
down.
paws.
Yeah. And she has like tufts of fur on the bottom of her paws that stick out. It's super cute.
That's awesome.
Okay, ready.
Okay. Lori, what would you say are some of the differences between working virtually from home or working in an office for your employees?
Well, I'd have to say there's quite a few different challenges that people face when they are working in an office. I actually just spoke with somebody the other day that hadn't used a virtual placement and she was interested in it. And I gave her some specific examples even from my own experience. When you work in an office of anywhere between 15 and 30 people, you have a lot of different personalities, which can create a little bit of office politics. It can be something like somebody's wearing too much cologne, or maybe somebody's a little bit too flirty. Even their lunch gets stolen,
right.
Or somebody makes a pot of coffee and, they use the last one, they don't refill. All of those little things can incorporate into that office type environment. When you work from home, you are isolated from other people, which enables you to actually be a lot more effective with your time. This includes not having to make a commute anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes or even up to 90 in the city each way, what also makes you more productive.
Okay, great. Thanks, Lori.
You're welcome. How's that?
That was really good.
Yeah? Okay,
yeah,
good.
That was really good.
Yeah, when I worked at Remedy, prime example, we used to always have breakfast in the office, and there was this guy